A thunderous boom shattered the stillness of a snowy Monday night in a small New Hampshire town. In the darkness, a local school bus driver would stumble upon a young woman standing beside her car as the unforgiving wind blew. She had just crashed into a tree along the snow-ridden roadway. The woman was shivering against the frigid air, but she seemed unhurt. When the bus driver offered to get her some help, the woman would turn him down, insisting that she had already placed a call for roadside assistance. After driving away, he couldn't manage to put his mind at ease, thinking of the woman he had just left behind in the glow of his taillights. Something about the situation felt off, so he decided to call the police himself. They would arrive just minutes later, but it was already too late. The young woman had vanished, without a trace. As the night grew quiet once again, the only evidence 21-year-old Maura Murray was ever there at all was her abandoned car on the side of the road, with not even a single footprint leading away into the surrounding darkness to be found. So, what could have happened to Maura on that cold February night? Welcome to the Vacant Mind. Today, we're diving into the haunting mystery of Maura Murray's disappearance, a case that has puzzled law enforcement for over 2 decades. Maura Murray was born on May 4th, 1982 in Hampshire, Massachusetts. She grew up in a close family and was the youngest of Fred and Lori Murray's kids. In high school, Maura was a star athlete. She dominated on the track team, channeling her competitive spirit into every race. That drive earned her a spot at West Point, where she studied chemical engineering. But after 3 semesters, she realized the military wasn't the right path for her. Maura transferred to UMass Amherst, deciding to study nursing instead. On the afternoon of February 9th, 2004, Maura made a series of decisions that would leave a trail of clues that would only add to the mystery of her disappearance. At 12:55 p.m., Maura called Linda Salomone, the owner of a condo in Bartlett, New Hampshire, to ask about renting the place. Maura's family had vacationed at the same condo several times over the years, but she ultimately didn't end up making a reservation. Despite having spoken with Maura, Salomone told the Daily Collegian that she was not interviewed by police investigators. At 1 p.m., Maura sent an email to her boyfriend, writing, "I love you more, stud. I got your messages, but honestly, I didn't feel like talking to much of anyone. I promise to call today though. Love you, Maura." At 1:24 p.m., Maura emailed her professors and her boss at a local art gallery, telling them that she'd be gone for a week to deal with a death in the family. But in reality, nobody had died, leaving no explanation for her sudden departure from her daily life and routine. At 2:05 p.m., Maura placed a 5-minute call to a booking phone line that gave recorded information about renting hotels in Stowe, Vermont. She only listened to the recordings over the phone and never spoke with anyone. At 2:18 p.m., Maura called her boyfriend, but he didn't answer. She left him a voice message, saying she loved him and that they would talk later, but they would never reconnect. Sometime around 3 p.m., Maura left her dorm for the last time. Maura had packed her car, a 1996 Saturn sedan, with several personal items, including clothing and textbooks.
She took running gear, she took birth control, she took accident forms. To me, it indicated that she planned to return.
She got into her Saturn in the parking lot, making a few more stops before leaving Amherst. At 3:15 p.m., Maura visited an ATM and withdrew $280, a significant amount given her financial situation, according to her sister Julie. At 3:43 p.m., Maura stopped at a liquor store where she bought $40 worth of alcohol. After making those stops, she would head north on I-91, her destination still unknown. At 7 p.m., Maura's journey came to an abrupt halt on Route 112 near Haverhill, New Hampshire. Her car went off the road, struck a tree, and ended up facing the wrong direction. The crash wasn't severe enough to cause major injuries, but it left her car undrivable.
The Saturday before she disappeared, she was car shopping with my dad. Her car was not running well.
When police later arrived, they found that the car's driver's side airbag had deployed, and the vehicle was locked. Early on, officers theorized Maura knew the car couldn't go any further and walked away from the scene. However, there were no footprints left behind in the snow. At 7:27 p.m., a local woman named Faith Westman noticed Maura's car off the road and called 911. At first, she reported seeing a man smoking a cigarette near the vehicle, but she later changed her statement, saying the red glow she saw could have been from a cell phone inside the car. This change in her account has added another layer of mystery to the case. Was it Maura using her phone? Or was someone else there? Sometime around 7:30 p.m., Butch Atwood, a local school bus driver, stopped and spoke with Maura. He offered to help, but he says Maura declined, insisting that she had already called for a tow truck. Atwood said Maura was shaken up, but she wasn't injured, as far as he could tell. He says he left Maura behind at the scene, but would call police about the crash about 10 minutes later when he got home. At 7:46 p.m., the police report states that Haverhill Police Sergeant Cecil Smith arrived at the scene of the crash. He reported activating the lights of his patrol vehicle, but not seeing anyone around or inside the car, including Maura herself. Her car was still locked, but there was no sign of her. Inside the vehicle, police would later find several personal items, including a textbook on nursing, some of the alcohol she had purchased, and clothing. One strange detail was the rag stuffed into the car's tailpipe. Some have wondered if Maura placed it there herself to muffle the sound of her deteriorating car, while others wonder if the rag was placed there to cause the vehicle to break down, leaving Maura stranded on the side of the road that night. Despite these discoveries, the police were left with more questions than answers. After Maura's disappearance, search teams scoured the woods near the crash site, using dogs and helicopters, but found no sign of her. The conditions were harsh, with freezing temperatures and snow-covered terrain, making the search even more challenging. Forensic analysis of Maura's car and belongings failed to uncover any definitive clues. As the years have now turned into decades, countless theories have emerged about what could have happened to Maura that night. Some believe she may have succumbed to the elements after leaving her car, while others suspect foul play, pointing to the strange circumstances surrounding the crash. While no solid evidence has ever been found, one person who believes Maura could have been met with foul play is her very own sister, Maura Murray.
We suspect foul play for two reasons. One, in 2 decades, there hasn't been a single credible lead. And two, nothing has ever been found.
Julie, alongside the Murray family, has been tireless in her efforts to keep the case in the public eye.
She was truly a special person, and she's worth every bit of effort, and every bit of attention.
She even started a podcast to share her theories and findings about her sister's disappearance, hoping to bring new leads to light.
The goal is to reach somebody who might come forward with information, to maybe jog someone's memory.
Many have wondered if Maura ventured into the woods that night, intending to disappear and start a new chapter under a different name, or to close the book on her story altogether. But with no confirmed sightings of Maura over the years, and no solid evidence to go off of, these theories remain just that, speculation. As the years have worn on, the mystery surrounding Maura's disappearance has only grown. Despite numerous searches, extensive coverage by local and national media stations, and even an online community dedicated solely to solving Maura's disappearance, her fate remains unknown decades later. Every few years, new leads will pop up in the case. sparking a renewed hope that the truth about Maura's disappearance will finally come to light. But so far, none of them have led to Maura. And so the question remains, what happened to Maura Murray on that cold February night? If you have any information on Maura's disappearance, you are urged to call the New Hampshire State Police. You can also contact your local FBI branch. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to The Vacant Mind for more deep dives into the unexplained.